All right, guys. There are a few things I want to talk about today. We are going to do our math lesson for 6-3. However, I before we go to that, I actually want to talk about the art contest. So far, we only have one person who submitted to the art contest. So what I'm actually going to have you guys do is I'm going to give you guys time in class right now to work, not right now, I'm sorry, after math to work on it. So after we do our math lesson, I'm going to give you guys some time to work on it. If you've already done it, then you can get another piece of paper and do another one. Okay. So what you will need to do though, is you will need to get a regular piece of paper at home and maybe some crayons or some markers or some colored pencils. And you guys are going to be drawing either the treasure beneath our feet, water nerds are water heroes, or there's life in every drop. And remember, I showed you guys that video and you guys can use that video, okay? Remember, your papers need to be horizontal. So what that means is this, not this way. You need to do it this way, okay? Not this way, not long. You need to do it horizontally wide, okay? So make sure you do that. And then because I know that it's hard to some of you guys, it's hard to understand what to do. All you're going to do is go to Class Dojo, and then you're going to submit it to me in your portfolio. Okay. What I'm going to do is you're going to submit it to me like this, kind of like how Ava took a picture of her art for me. You're going to take a picture like that and send it to me. And then what I'm going to do is I'll submit all of your artworks for you guys. Okay. So you don't, technically when I turn it in, you don't need parent permission at first. However, if you win, then you will, they'll notify you and say, okay, in order for your art to be in the calendar, you need permission from your parents. And then that's when they'll get permission. Okay. So we'll do that after we do our math. So let's quickly do math so we can do that. All right. So we are in math lesson 6-3. Remember, you can go to it by going to Google Classroom, clicking on your waffle, and then scrolling all the way down. And I'm not in the right one, but you're going to go to Savvis EasyBridge. You're going to go to Savvis EasyBridge. So different login than mine. Once you log into Savvis EasyBridge, remember, you're going to click on that Common Core Grade 2. Then it's going to take you to this home page. If you have any assignments here, that means that you have missing assignments that you've got to get done. Okay. I'm going to click on our little frog. And then again, we are on lesson 6-3 today. So let's go ahead and watch our video.
Find 27 plus 35. You can use mental math to find the sum. One way is to add the tens. 20 plus 30 equals 50. Where do the numbers 20 and 30 come from?
They come from the tens place. 27, 35. 27, 35. They come from the tens place in each of those numbers.
20 is the number of tens in 27, and 30 is the number of tens in 35. Then add the ones. 7 plus 5 equals 12. Where do the numbers 7 and 5 come from?
They come from the ones place. The 2 and the 3 stood for 20 and 30. In the tens place, the 7 and 5 are in the ones place.
7 is the number of ones in 27, and 5 is the number of ones in 35. Then add the sums. 50 plus 12 equals 62. So, 27 plus 35 equals 62. Another way to find 27 plus 35 is to add the tens of one number. 27 plus 30 equals 57.
So then now you just have to add.
Then add the extra ones. 57 plus 5 equals 62. So, 27 plus 35 equals 62. Could you add the tens of 27 to 35 and then add on the extra ones? Explain. Yes, 20 plus 35 equals 55, and 55 plus 7 equals 62. So the sum would be the same. Both ways of doing mental math give the sum. You can use either way. Now you know other mental math strategies for adding numbers.
So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through it, and then we're not going to go into breakout rooms because I want to make sure we have time for art. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to your math book. You guys should have your math book. We're on lesson 6-3, and let's get to our reteaching first. Okay, so here it says, find 25 and 34, and it shows you the number 25, and then we're going to count on by tens to add the tens. So here we have 25, then we're going to count on. So there's 3 tens, 35, 45, 55. So that's how we got to 55 here. Now, you're going to add the ones. So we stopped at 55, and there are 4 ones. So 56, 57, 58, 59. That's why 24 plus 34 equals 59. Okay. So we're going to do that with these 2 questions. All right. And then I'm going to show you another way with questions 3 and 4. So 34 and 23. And then remember, if I'm going too fast, you can watch this on YouTube later and then pause when you need to slow down. So 34 and 23. Ready? What we're going to do first is we're going to count on these 2 tens. So we have 34, count on 44, 54, because it was 34, 44, 54. Now we have to count on these ones. We stopped at 54, and we have to count up these 3 ones that we have. There's 3 ones left over. So let's count. Ready? 54, 55, 56, 57. So 34 plus 23 equals 57. Let's try it again. Okay. And then you know what? Actually, with this strategy, because it uses the cubes and some of you are more visual learners, I'm going to show you how to use the cubes with 3 and 4. And then for the practice, I'll show you guys other strategies. Okay. So we have 52, count on 62. So we have 52, 62, 72, 82. So let's write that because these are each tens. 52, 62, 72, 82. Now we have to count on the ones. So here we have 82 was the number we left off at. And that's the same as saying 52, just so you guys can see my work, plus 30. 52 plus 30 equals 82. Now what we have to do is we use this number, the 3 in the tens place. Now we have to add up 82 plus 3. So this is what I'm doing in my head if you're doing the mental math. Now 82 and 3, if I count on 82, 83, 84, 85. And that's how I get my answer that 82 and 3 ones is 85. All right, so let's try that for 3 and 4. So I'm going, because I'm doing this on Zoom, I have to delete my work so I can scroll down. So if you aren't finished with this, then what you need to do is watch this on YouTube later and finish it there. Or you should be focusing and paying attention so that you know how to do the work. Best thing for me that I would recommend is as I'm doing it, you're doing it. So if I'm writing 52, you should be writing 52 right away. If you guys are writing it as I'm writing it, then it should only take you maybe, a minute or two more for you to write it down. So as long as you're staying focused, you're not laying down, you're not watching TV, you're not on other websites, you're not talking to people in the chat about things that don't have to do with math. As long as you're staying focused, you should be able to get this done. All right, let's move on to question 3 and 4. I'm gonna zoom in just a little so that we have a little bit more room. Oops. Ay, ay, ay. All right, there we go. Okay, let's try this out. So we have 42 plus 12. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 42 and then I'm gonna add that by the tens place. And here in the tens place, we have a 1. So I'm gonna write 10. So that's what I'm doing mentally in my head. If I'm gonna be using blocks, I'm gonna write 42 plus, and then I'm gonna show you guys 12. 1, 10, and 2 ones. So again, if you're focusing and you're watching along in class, you are writing this down right now. So you should have already wrote 42 plus 10, and you should have wrote 42 plus 12, okay? Now what we need to do is we're doing 42 plus 10 first. So we're adding 42 and 10 together. So if I have the number 42, what number would come next if I'm counting on by tens? If I'm counting on by tens, the next number would be 52. 42, this would make it 52. So I'm going to write that here. Now I need to add up my ones. So I know that I have 52 now. I have 2 ones here. So I have to do 52 plus 2. Now you might already know the answer, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to write, okay, 52, and then I need to add up 2 more. And then you can even write that down. Well, I know 52. And then if I'm adding by ones, I need 2 of these. 52, the next number would be 53. The next number would be 54. So that is my final answer. 52 plus 2 would give me 54. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time using the tens cubes, and then we're going to show you some other strategies, okay? So we've got 25 plus 21. So let's use this way first. Now I don't have too much room on this side, so let's see if I can fit it. 25, and then remember, the next number, we're only going to use the number in the tens place, and then the ones place is going to be blank. I'm sorry, not blank, 0. So instead of saying 21, we're going to just write 20. Now you can add up 25 plus 20 in your head. If you're having trouble with that, you can write 25, and then we're going to be adding it to 2 tens and 1 1. From there, you need to show me how to skip count by tens. So we need to skip down 2 times because there are 2 tens. So what comes after 25 in the tens place? 35. What comes after 35? 45. And if you did it in your head, you should have got the same answer. 25 plus 20 equals 45. Now from there, now you're going to add up the ones place. So we had 45. Now we only have 1 more 1 left. So that's super easy to do. If we're doing 45 and then we're adding up 1, all you're doing is you're going to the next number in sequential order. You're just adding 1, which would be 46. So you would write 46 would be your answer to 25 plus 21. All right, guys, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to write that. I'm sorry, a few seconds to write that down because you guys should be working with me. If you're on YouTube, you could pause the video. All right, we're going to go ahead and do our practice now. So if you did not finish this, you need to watch it on YouTube and pause the video. Okay. It's important to show your work because it's going to help you guys in the long run with your fluency in math. All right, we're going to now move on to practice. And then remember, we're going to do practice in class together. Okay, I am going to show you different ways. Okay, for number 1, 41 plus 24. What I'm going to do is for this one, I am going to count on using my tens chart. But this time, I'm not going to show any other work other than my number or other than this. And then I'm just going to use this to count on. Okay, so watch. 41. Now we're going to count the tens. 51, 61, and then we're going to count the ones. 62, 63, 64, 65. So do you see how I used the tens to help me add up? And the ones, I'm sorry, I used the cubes. I used the cubes to help me add up. So let's try it again. Okay, we're going to do it for 1, 3, 5, and 7. 56 plus 33. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just doing that because it gives me a little more space. So 56, count on the tens first. 66, 76, 86, now count on my ones. 87, 88, 89. So 56 plus 33 would give you 89. Let's try it again. 43 plus 36. 3 tens and then 6 ones. Ready? 43, 53, 63, 73. Count by one. 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. All right. And then the last one, and we're going to do number 7, the last way with this, and I'm going to show you guys another way. Okay. 37 plus 21. So you need, and then I'll show you with, I'll make the full rectangles. Oops. 21. So again, 37, count on by tens. 47, 57, and then count on my ones, 58. So that's how you're going to use cubes to help you count on. Now for the even numbers, we're going to use we're going to use the same way. We're going to use the same way, but this time what we're going to do is we're not going to show it with pictures. We're going to show it with numbers, how you're going to do it mentally with numbers. So 53 plus 15. I'm going to actually use up this whole space up here, just so you guys can tell. And then same thing with this one. I'm going to use up this space. 6, I'm going to use up this space. And 8, I'm just going to use up the bottom space. Okay, ready? 53 plus 15. What you're going to do is you're going to start with the number 53. And then you're going to add up just the 10. So 15, it's a 10. Then you get 63. From 63, you're going to add up the ones. So we have 63 plus, and then we use the 10 already. Now we're going to use the ones place, which is a 5. And that's pretty easy, especially if you've been practicing your basic math facts. 63 plus 5 equals 68. All right, let's do the next one. Number 4, 62, you're going to write that number, and then we're just going to use the tens place in 25, which would mean that we're only using the 20. Now, I know that 62 plus 20 equals 82. How do I know that? Because I can count by tens in my head, or I also know that 6 tens plus 2 tens equals 8 tens. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 6 tens plus 2 tens equals 8 tens, and then there's only 2 ones because there's 0 ones here. Now I'm going to get that total 82, and I only use the 20, so now I need to use the ones place, and in the ones place I have 5 left over. So 82 plus 5 equals 87. Okay, some of you guys are busy typing in the chat, so I don't know if you're following along. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to check on how you guys are doing, and then we'll continue. All right, number 6, you're going to write the number. Ooh, what do you guys know about this number? This number, the first number, it already gives you 50. Now, if you want, we already know that 50, I guess we already know that we can do it by adding up a 10. So you can just skip count from 25 by 10s. So you could do 25, 35, 45, 45, 55, 65, 75. Let me try that again. 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. However, if you want to just stick with the way we've been doing it, we've been doing the first number. And then the second number, we've just been using the tens place, which is fine. We're going to still get the same answer. So 50 plus 20 equals 70. And then 70 plus 5 equals 75. Now, some of you guys are just writing the answers down. No, I want you to show your work. I know that it says mental math, but I want you to write out what's going on in your head. I want you to work out what's going on in your head so that if you make a mistake, you can see, okay, what mistakes did I make in my head so that I can next time do even better. Okay, last one, number 8, and then we're going to do a different strategy. We have 17 plus 50. So 17, we're going to put up 5 tens on our fingers and then count on 17, 27, 37, 47, 57, 67. Another way you can think about it is, well, we know the 7 is going to stay in the same place. So all we're adding up is in the tens place, which is the 1 and the 5. And what's 1 plus 5? 6. Now that we got to 67, we're going to add up the ones place for 52, which is a 2. And then 67 plus 2 would give you 69. All right. Now what you're going to do is we are going to move on to the next few questions. Now, I know some of you guys are still working on this. So in class, I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds. If you're on Zoom, you're going to pause the video. All right, guys. So if you did not finish it, make sure you pause the video on YouTube. Let's move on to questions 9 through 12. Let's start with 12. And you know what? I'm actually going to zoom out a little so that we have more space on the side. So we have question number 9 next, right? So for question number 9, we're going to use the first way that we saw in the video. So this is going to be question number 9. What they did for question number 9 in the video was they did the first 2 numbers on the beginning. Those are our tens place numbers. So we're going to add up 40 plus 30. Why not 4 plus 3? Because they are in the tens place. So they represent a 10. So 40 plus 30 is very easy to add up. You just have to add up these numbers, 4 and 3, and then add a 0. 40 plus 30 equals 70. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to add up the ones. And in the ones, we have a 6 and a 2. Now, what is 6 plus 2? 8. So in your head, that is so much easier to add up. What is 70 plus 8? 78. So your answer would be D. Let's do that same strategy for number 10. 61 plus 13. Let's use up the tens first. The first 10 we have is 60. The second 10 we have is 10. That's easy to do. 60 plus 10, you're just adding a 10 to 60, is 70. Then we have 1 and 3. Easy to add up. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Now, what is 70 plus 4? 74. Okay, the next one, ready? This is the last time we're going to use this strategy, and then we're going to see which strategy we should use for number 12. Tad has 72 seashells. He finds 15 more. How many does he have in all? Whenever we see that in all, we're going to add. So we're going to start with the tens place. So the numbers in the tens place are 70 and 10. So we're going to add up 70 plus 10 equals 80. You guys should be writing this down. Don't wait till I'm done talking. You should be writing as I'm writing. You should be underlining as I'm underlining. You should be circling as I'm circling. Now we're going to add up the ones place. We have a 2 in the ones place and a 5 in the ones place. 2 plus 5 equals 7. Now we're going to add up those two numbers to find our total. Tad had 72 seashells, then he got 15 more. His total would be 80 plus 7, which would be 87. All right, let's move on to our final question of practice. One bunch has 31 grapes. Another bunch has 28 grapes. How many grapes are there in all? So now we want to know we want to find the estimate. So what we're going to do is, there are two ways you can do this. You can first round the two numbers, or you can round at the end. I'm going to round them at the beginning. So 31 grapes would be close to 30 grapes. 28 grapes would be also close to 30 grapes because it's only 2 off. 28 is much closer to 30 than it is to 20. So 30 plus 30 would equal 60, which is why our answer would be C. Now, if you want to double check to make sure, you can do your math. So let's do it this way. Since we did 4 questions showing the cubes, 4 questions showing the first number plus the tens in the second number, and then the ones in the second number. And then we've done 4 and 4. Let's do one more for this strategy where it's adding up the tens, then adding up the ones. So we've got 30 plus 20. Because for this one, we're just adding up the tens first. And that is a 28. And that's going to give you 50. And then the ones is 1 plus 8. And 1 plus 8 is going to give you 9. Now, what number, 50 plus 9, would give you the total of what? 59. Now, what is 59 close to? Now, if you guys are not very good at estimating, what you're going to do is you're going to think about the number that is going to be rounded. So 50 is going to be rounded. So imagine 50 knows they either need to go up to the next level. Think of like if you're in like Taekwondo or soccer or a dance team, okay? There's levels in them. Like if you're on a dance team, or if you're in soccer, or if you're in karate, there's levels that they're in. Usually level 1 is the easiest, and then level 10 is like the hardest, right? So imagine that there's this person and they're on level 5. Now, right now, they're winning 9 games. They're winning 9 games out of 9 games. So they're trying to figure out, should I stay in level 5 or should I move up to level 6? So they're going to ask their friend and say, okay, guys, hey, so I'm at level 5 right now, but I've been like winning all these games. I've been winning 9 games out of 9 games. What do you think I should do? Well, the rule is 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. Can you guys say that with me? Go ahead and say that with me. Ready? 5 or more, let it soar. Again, 5 or more, you're going up. 5 or more, let it soar. So what that means is if you have won 5 games or more, or if you've won 5 dance competitions or more, or if you've won 5 karate competitions or more, or 5 soccer games or more, you should go up to the next level because you're doing really well. And so because you're winning all these games and these competitions, you should go up to the next level because it'll be a little more challenging for you. But let's say that maybe you're still learning and you've only won 4 games or less. So this is what we're going to do. Ready? 4 or less. Again, 4 or less, let it rest. One more time. 4 or less, let it rest. Now, just because you've won 4 games or less, that doesn't make you bad. You're not going to go down a level. We're not going to go down a level. You're not going to go from level 5 to level 4. You're just going to stay where you are. So then I might, if let's say the number was like 31, okay? 31. Well, I don't know. What do you think I should do? I'm at level 3 right now, and I've only won 1 game. I've only won 1 soccer game. Well, I might say, well, if you've only won 1 soccer game out of 9 soccer games, because you can only choose, your numbers in the ones place can only go to 0 to 9. Well, I remember that poem Miss Park taught me. It's 4 or less, let it rest. I think you should just rest. I think you should just stay at a level 3 in soccer, because if you go up to level 4, it might be a little too hard. So I think that you should just stay at level 3, and then as you win more games, then you can move up to the next level. But I think right now, level 3 is a good place for you to be. Okay. So let's look at that number 59. 59. Well, I'm at level 5 right now, and I've won 9 games. So they've won every game. 5 or more, let it soar. You know what? You've won more than 5 games. I think you should definitely go to the next level. So that's why that 5 becomes a 6, and they end up being a level 6. And that's why when we estimate, it's about 60. Hopefully that made sense. If not, we'll go over it again another day. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over your digital quick check. All right. So everybody now needs to go to Savvis. If you did not finish this, go ahead and pause the video on YouTube, and then you can watch it on YouTube. I'm going to now move on to our digital quick check. So go to Savvis, and while I'm doing it, you can do it too, or you can do it immediately after. I recommend just doing it with me because then you get it out of the way. All right, ready? Let's use our different strategies. Add using mental math. Here we go. 52 plus 16. Now, you can use mental math. However, I want to make sure that I'm doing my very best, so I'm going to double check my work. So I'm going to use the tens place first. 50 plus 10 equals 60. And then I'm going to use the ones place, 2 plus 6, because that gives me 52 plus 16. 2 plus 6 equals 8. 60 plus 8 would give me a total of D, 68. Question number 2. Let's do a different strategy. 47 plus 12. So this time I'm going to say, oops, that's supposed to be a 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 47, then count on the next 10, 47, 57, and then count on my ones. So that was 57. And then I'm going to count on 58, 59. So my total would be 59, 47, 57, 58, 59, C. Okay, next strategy, 23 plus 14. But this time I'm going to add up the first number plus the second 10. 23 plus 10 equals 33. And then I'm going to add up that total and then add up the leftover ones, which is 4. And then my answer would be 33 plus 4 equals 37. All right. Let's now do the math in our head. Another way you can do it is you can add up the ones first and then see if you need to regroup and then add up the tens. 3 plus 2 equals 5. Ooh, look, we don't even need to finish it because we know 3 plus 2 equals 5 and there's only one answer with 5, but let's just make sure. Now let's add up the tens. 6 plus 1 equals 7. The answer would be 75. Let's do it again that way. That was one way we did not do in our reteaching and practice, so we'll do it again. Start with the ones because we want to make sure we don't need to regroup. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Ooh, again, there's only one answer with a 6 in the ones place. 1 plus 7 equals 8. The answer is 86. All right, so it is 10:56. So this is what we are going to do. Since it did take me a little bit longer because I wanted to make sure you guys understood your math, you guys now are going to finish your digital quick check. If you have not turned in your digital quick check, you need to do that now. If you have missing assignments, if you have your name here listed at all, you need to get your missing work done. If you have no missing work, and you've also already turned in what should Miss Park dress up as on 10/29, I'm going to encourage you guys to do the art contest. There's only one student who has officially submitted it. So I'm going to ask everyone else to work on that this week. Okay. The way you're going to do that, and I explained it at the beginning of our lesson, is you're going to draw a picture on a regular piece of paper. You can't do it on the computer because then they won't accept it. It needs to be on a regular piece of paper and it needs to look like this. You can't do it this way. You have to do it this way. If you do it the other way, they're not going to count it. Now, once you do it on this piece of paper, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Class Dojo and then you're going to post your picture of your art. Okay. If you need help with logging into your Dojo account, I will be doing that with you guys today. If you're all done with all your work, don't forget to do your 5 minutes of BTBF to practice your addition and subtraction fluency. Don't forget at 12 o'clock to do read theory and online resources. I need all of my ELD students to come back at 12. Plus, if your name is here, I would like you to come back as well, because that gives you some extra time to get some work done that you haven't been doing. And then everyone's going to come back at 12:45 for history. And then at the end of the day, you guys have 20-ish minutes to work on your social emotional learning activity. And for this week, it could be that art. And then from 2:07 to 2:27, we're going to be reading any book that you guys like for 20 minutes. All right.